All right, what's going on, people? We are back once again. New stream. JV wins Conscious Approach. Thank you for joining us on the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube. We certainly appreciate it. Shouts out to all of the subscribers that we have been enticing to hit that button lately. Thank you for joining us along for the ride as we kick this logical content. We surely appreciate it. It has been a very enlightening and pleasurable experience to do this and make this content and engage with people who like what it is that we do over here in this little corner of the internet of ours. So, thank you very much. And with those pleasantries, of course, out of the way, we will go ahead and get things kicked off. First thing that we're going to do is talk about Miss Jay-Z, Sean Carter, a guy who musically, historically, I have always revered. Albeit as of late, not as much as when he was more, musically in his prime. But he's still really, really high up there for me, just historically, musically. But he's been a topic of conversation as of late because he was chopping it up with Kevin Hart, and he made comments about how he would not give a member of his family $4,800 because the way that he was explaining it is money isn't free, things don't work that way. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is, so on and so forth. So he's kind of catching flack for this because people are saying, bro, you're worth almost $1 billion. What's $4,800 to you? So they're focusing on his worth and not necessarily the point that he's making and why he chose to not do that. So of course, we'll go ahead and provide a little context first, as we always like to do. So this is an excerpt from that interview. Obviously, it's not the whole thing, but here is Jay-Z explaining why money conversations with family and friends can be awkward and why he opted to not give somebody in his own family $4,800.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like you'll have people that where you come from, if you behave in a certain manner, it's not accustomed to where they are, right? Some people haven't evolved past 16. They still stuck in that place. You evolve every year. So that may be a threat to them. Subconsciously or consciously, that's funny because blah, blah, blah. You have to navigate that. You have cousins. You got to go home for Thanksgiving and people are talking to you like Kevin Hart. And you going home for solace. You want family.
You're going home for peace of mind.
You're going home for peace of mind.
And they don't give you that.
And your cousins, you're not. The cousins in your grandma's living room saying, "Yo, man, I got this play. I want to. If you just give me, you know what I mean? 4,800, I could make you 2 million. You like it don't work like that, man. But you got to explain to him like life isn't like that. Money isn't free, and no one's giving out opportunities. If it sounds too good to be true, it's really. And then he like, oh, you don't believe in my dreams.
Where did
Por primera vez llega Rana Fest. Las mejores ofertas.
Adios mío.
Get out of here, Ad. Okay, so there you go. So like I said before, people are saying, bro, Jay-Z, what's up with that? You got like $1 billion. You can't shell out 4,800. And there was one post that I saw where it was a comparison type thing, where it was like saying, someone asking Jay-Z for $4,800 is like another person asking someone who makes $50K a year for a dime, and you saying no to giving that person a dime out of your $50K. So, there's all kinds of ancillary conversations going on about that. And, some people are kind of looking at Jay-Z suspect for that kind of ideology. But what do you make of that?
Rarely do I come to the defense of Jay-Z. I'm not really a fan of his. But he's got a point here. And these people that are upset are, just blowing smoke. I feel like they're part of the population that wants something for free. And the people that don't understand the principle that he was trying to get across there, because it was a bigger point than the money. And he tried to make the point that, life, your success financially is dependent upon the amount of work that you put in yourself. You can collaborate with other people, but Jay-Z would have been more than happy to give him the 4,800 if he had already seen the plan already in motion. So, much like how the people in the church say, you know, uh, well, what's that? Prayers with no fruits or something like that. Works without something. I forgot what the saying was, but yeah, you gotta put in your work, and so if you put in your work towards whatever it is you want, you'll catch some breaks here or there that you never thought you saw coming, and that's the universe or God's way of saying that, hey, I saw you doing your thing, here's a little bonus pack, on your journey. So Jay-Z would have been more than happy to do that. I'm pretty sure he has done that for people that he already saw putting in the legwork. But from this story, it sounds like, hey, somebody just knows that he got it. Um, he's not saying that the person's not passionate about whatever it is that they're doing, but they have yet to take the initiative and putting in the legwork to getting it done. So without that, are you going to magically get that when you got the money that you feel like you need already? Highly unlikely. So Jay-Z done gave money out before the people. That's why he has this mindset. And as far as that dime thing is concerned, please, if it's such a minuscule number, then that person should be able to get it on their own in the first place. So again, somebody saying that, oh, it's just a dime. And it's like, all right, well, just so we can all relate to how little a dime is. So if somebody was asking me for a dime, I'd be like, yeah, bro, why? Go get your own dime. It's a freaking dime. So go get it. So I'm not buying that point either. I just feel like this is poverty mindset that is complaining, and people that don't understand the bigger picture, they can have it. So what about you, bro? How do you feel about Jay-Z and his stinginess towards his own blood?
Yeah, it goes as no surprise that I'm with you. And I wish that there was a way for us to be able to um, sort of see what the age range of the people who have an issue with this is,
Mm-hmm.
because I would be willing to gather that at least half the people who feel as though Jay-Z is in the wrong here are probably people from a younger generation, if I had to guess. So, like, I think it's bigger than a poverty mindset. I think it's also a generational mindset of people just wanting things easy.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay Z was born in 1969. So Jay Z's in his 50s. Jay Z is a part of what I see as the second to last brick and mortar generation. So there's his generation. He's in the same generation as my older brother and your older siblings. So
Mm-hmm.
my brother just turned 49. Shouts out, happy birthday, big bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and and then there's the generation that's the X generation, and then you have the generation after that, which is us, the millennials.
Mm-hmm.
We are the last brick and mortar generation in existence. Every generation that has come after ours has been the generations of instant gratification. And I think Jay Z's ideology, when he is talking like this, at least in some part, comes from the fact that he comes from a brick and mortar, work yourself up by your bootstraps generation. And it's hard to relate that to some of these people out here who think that they can just start posting on Instagram every day and they can get rich. But that's what technology and the internet has done to a lot of these people out here in the world. It's given people an avenue to circumvent the system and find an easy way out. And
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, that easy way out does not exist. For every Instagram model who was able to break through and become successful, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands more that didn't make it through but tried the same formula. But for whatever reason, they didn't work out. But that other one individual who was able to work it out did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for no reason other than luck, as far as I can tell, because life simply, as Jay Z said, does not work that way. But this is what the internet, in my opinion, has done. It has desensitized a society of people to the notion that work ethic is something that is still required in order to become successful. And when you get enough instances of people who are able to cheat their way through to the top, quite frankly, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to more and more people looking at that as an example of something that they can replicate. And
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, you're going to fail. So, I look at a lot of this stuff like, they're like modeling, for example.
Mhm.
There's whole, there are whole institutions that you have to spend a lot of money to go to in order to learn the art of modeling,
Mhm.
because it's an actual art form. It's a skill that you have to curate and develop in order to become successful at it. But you had a lot of these dusty, lazy chicks who might have a cute face and a nice body who started posting a lot of pics on Instagram,
Mhm.
and we started dubbing them models. Next thing you know, they're getting sponsorship dollars to sponsor some, products on their page, and they have thousands or hundreds of thousands, some of them even millions of followers, and now they've become successful. They figured out a loophole. They figured out a way to circumvent the system. Same thing with these fitness people. You
Mhm.
call them fitness influencers. They don't know shit about fitness. They don't have any. They don't have any certifications. They don't have any certificates. They didn't go to school for this stuff. They don't know anything about biochemistry, nutrition. They don't have any of these actual tent poles of education in order to qualify as a legit trainer. But they have a cute face and a nice body, and they post a bunch of pics and workout clothes at the gym. Next thing you know, they get a bunch of followers, mainly from simps, and now they're influencers and they're getting paid, and now they're successful. That is a formula that is largely unreplicatable.
Mhm.
But a lot of us out here who are group thinkers look at that and say, let me replicate that and circumvent the system. I think Jay-Z is speaking to how unlikely it is that the majority of us can just cheat our way through to the top and trust and believe that is a cheat code. That's like back in the day when we used to play Mortal Kombat,
Mhm.
and you know what I'm saying. There was a button code that you could mash in at the start screen, so that whenever you finish the fight, you can just tap one button and go into a fatality.
Mhm. Mhm.
Bro, no, we're not doing cheat codes out here. Like, you have to actually work and grind for this stuff.
Right.
And as more progressive as we become with this technology stuff, the fact will always remain that work ethic is the only tried and true way to actually become successful. So what Jay-Z is speaking to is actually a two-pronged thing here, in my opinion. It's a
Mhm.
generational thing in which people are actively out here trying to cheat their way to success because they just want to start an Instagram or a TikTok, be as weird and outrageous and zany and kooky as possible so that they can get attention. And
Mhm.
then they get rewarded for that by corporations. But again, the success rate of that is like maybe 5% on a scale of 100. It's not sustainable. And then there's also the money angle of people thinking, because I have this much money, you can come to me without a sound business plan, to your point, and think that because I just have it, I can simply give it to you without you giving me some kind of prospectus. What is your 5 year, 10 year, like, how are you going to unfold this so that it
Mhm.
becomes something that reaps passive income for you? It's a sustainable business practice. I don't want to hear about your NFT plan. Like, don't ask me for $4,800 so that you can start investing in NFTs. That's not sustainable.
Right.
Don't ask me for $4,800 so that you can invest in crypto. Not sustainable. Don't ask me for $4,800 because your homeboy hit a lick on the stock market and you want to buy up these shares of some random stock because you think it's going to pop. I need to know if you have the ability to read these charts. Are you studying the markets? Do you understand this stuff?
Mhm.
So that I can give this to you and know that it's going to actually reap a return. And a lot of people today really do want to circumvent the system. Instagram models are examples of circumvention. Fitness models are examples of circumvention. Social media influencers are examples of circumvention, and everyone is copying it. And it ain't sustainable. And I think because he comes from one of the final generations of brick and mortar, that is where he is speaking from what I can tell. Because you can say a lot, you can say what you want about his past, which is sketchy and questionable, things that he has done to contribute to the community in a negative way from some of the things that he did in his past, so on and so forth. And I'm saying this as a true Jay-Z fan. We can have all those conversations, and we'd be right to do so. But at the end of the day, to question his work ethic would be foolish. And he is someone who has by hook or by crook, been able to put in a substantial amount of work in order to get to the point that he is, in order to get to the point in which he resides. And it's crazy that what we got going on today is the way that people in society has changed as a result of this technology movement and all of these apps that has people thinking that they can just hit a lick. You call it the flex phenomenon.
Mhm.
Life has become all about what the next flex is. And if you can identify what that next flex is, to try and circumvent your way to the top. So I hear where he's coming from, and I agree as well. Even if I had it, if you don't have a way to express to me how this is going to be something that you can turn into a sustainable thing for the long run, perpetually, so that you have that revenue stream coming in forever, I'm not inclined to just kind of give money away. I might be rich, but I did not get rich because I felt as though it was okay for me to literally throw money away. So
Exactly.
I hear what he's saying. And to anyone who has a problem with that, I would say to check yourself, because if you're one of these people who are trying to get onto the internet and cheat your way to the top by, doing goofy videos, doing goofy trends in videos, lighting your face on fire, doing dumb shit for likes and clicks so that you can circumvent your way to the top, he's probably talking to you.
Yeah, I didn't consider that angle. I know for sure as far as oh, and that saying that I was trying to get out is faiths with no work is dead. And so yeah, so you can have the vision all you want. You got to put in work in order for you to get the blessing you would like to receive. And so these people want success. Now, you said something real key there when you were talking about Jay-Z and how he got to the position that he got to. And it was indeed by hook or by crook. Now, when you deal with that kind of moxie in a person, that's the person that makes it. So, like you were saying earlier about the person that does the goofy videos and trying to get trending and trying to, if they got enough moxie, they will make it by hook or by crook. And the people that we know that's at the top, they made it by those means. And so this society that we're dealing with consumerism, capitalism, and all that good jazz. All right, these corporations, they want the person that's willing to take it there. They have the it factor for corporations. And example, like you can watch old Soldier Boy interviews or whatever and hear him explain how he got on, and he would do all kinds of stuff. Like he would, like, once the video's out or whatever, he'll just play the song over and over or whatever to drive up streams, to do whatever, or views at that time. And when you're dealing with somebody that's willing to say or do whatever to keep it going and keep it pushing, those are the people that get rewarded right now in this new age of entertainment. So Jay-Z, I mean, as you mentioned, he has a track record of him getting to where he's at. And there's a lot of people in his wake that would sit there and say, hey, man, he did whatever. But look where he got. And so I say that to say is that that's the work ethic that you're implying. And I feel like some people have that it factor when it comes to whatever they're about to get into, to do it that way. And this is just in the realm of, I'm talking about the realm of entertainment, but the same thing goes for people who are in the corporate ladder or whatever. And, if you want to be that whatever up top, that exec or whatever, you're going to have to step on some people, and there's going to be some people in your wake. So there's a mentality that comes with being that person that eventually reaches whatever level of success that person's trying to reach. But all of that, I would say, is more of a mentality. So that can speak to, the generational gap that you're speaking on. But for sure, there's a mentality that these people have. And I think it's a bit of an it factor that they won't stop. That, a regular person will go, all right, I made enough posts for today. Time to lay down. But that person that goes viral all the time, they are up all the time trying to go viral. That's a work ethic. And those are the people that reach that's that rare percentage that you're talking about, because it's a rare percentage of people that's willing to take it there.
Right, exactly.
So if there's a guy at some regular barbecue at some family function and he's sitting around, hey man, I got this plan, and then you talking to the guy and he don't have that it factor, why the hell would I give you any of my money? You just gonna, buy some J's or some, you know what I'm saying? Put some spinners on your Hyundai. What you up to? So yeah, real recognize real in a situation, and Jay-Z is real in the context of, hey, he knows what it takes to make business work. And he would have been all ears if somebody came to him in an eye-to-eye level and said, hey, I got this going on. How do you feel about it? He may even still say no to the money, but he at least give me some advice.
Yeah.
So real recognize real in these situations. He didn't feel like this guy was real. Who cares if it's his family, man? Who cares? Oh, and who cares how much money it is? All right. Because once you get in your position of money, where you're actually, and this is why I think there's people are, just a poverty mindset. And it ain't like I got it. I'm just saying, it's just like once you actually have some money and then people start coming out the woodwork to ask you for it, you're gonna ask them in some roundabout way of, how are you gonna earn this? I'm not just gonna give this to you because we're blood related. So yeah, man, I think it's all of these components. It's probably some other floating stuff around there missing. You guys can leave that in the comment section. But as far as this concerned, man, yeah, I think this is Jay-Z. He has that it factor. And for anybody that's doing anything, you don't have to trample people. You don't have to leave people in your wake, so to speak. But there does have to be an internal factor where you kick it into another gear within yourself, where you do have that work ethic to make it in whatever field you're trying to make it in. And trust and believe, if you tap into that, then success will soon follow. So faith with no works are dead. How about that?
Yeah. I think that the part about what was I gonna say? I guess that disparity of people who are able to do this and people who don't, to me, is less about it factor and more about your mentality when it comes to actual work. I think that the way that people look at things now is, how can I become rich and successful without putting in work? That's what the thought process is.
I see what you're saying.
And they look at a lot of these tactics that get employed and have a very low success rate percentage wise, but they look at it as something that can be replicated. And I've gotten to the point where I see it pretty often. And just one real small example. Nowadays, when I go to my gym and I'm in there enough that I know that this has become a regular occurrence in society,
Uh-oh.
it is not unusual for me to go to my gym on any day that I choose to go and work out and see several people in the gym with tripods set up recording themselves working out. Now, why are you doing that? You're doing that because you look at that as an avenue for you to become successful. And all you're doing is and what you're doing is basically just living life. You're doing what you would have been doing even if you didn't look at that as an opportunity, but you see it as something that you might be able to replicate. So it's like, let me try this so that I can put myself on. Let me see how many followers that I can get. If I can get popping in this internet game enough by doing something as mundane as working out, then I might be able to get myself to the top and become successful. That to me isn't a work ethic. It's a way that you have identified a wrinkle that you can exploit in order to circumvent your way to the top. That's how I look at that. Because if it was really about you working out, you would become a certified personal trainer. You would go to school for these things. You would go to school for biochemistry. You'd go to school for nutrition. You would go to school for personal training and fitness. You're not doing any of that. You're just showing up at the gym in your sexy workout clothes, recording yourself doing your workouts. That to me is an example of an attempt at circumvention. You're trying to cheat your way to success. And what the internet has done is it has implied that that is a viable solution to making it in life. That's what's happened. And it's not, because the conversion rate on that is very low. To your point, the people who are able to mold that into something that works are those small percentage of people who literally will stop at nothing to make that happen for themselves.
Brittany
And
Renner.
And right, right. And that is where the work ethic part of it kicks in.
Right.
The majority of these people don't have that.
I
To
see
me, the
what you're
work ethic is the it factor.
saying.
That's
Mhm.
what the it
Right.
factor is the work. Most people don't have that. But
Right.
what they have are two sets of eyes, which they can which they can use to see, oh, they made it just by posting gym pics. Let me try to do that too. It ain't gonna work, bro or ma'am. It's not that easy.
Right.
Most people out here do not have that unwavering drive to be able to make that happen. It's a very small percentage. And I would argue that if you're trying to circumvent your way to the top via those means, you can do nothing but leave people in your wake because you're not actually learning anything. You're just using yourself, your looks and your body and your existence in order to get to the top. And that to me is not sustainable. And I think that
Mhm.
that's what Jay-Z is speaking towards.
Yeah, them gym videos be wild, bruh. Like they be
And
popping
that's
ass harder
yeah,
than strippers, bruh.
and that's only one example. Like that's the one that I can think of off the top of my head. But there's
Yeah,
plenty
yeah.
of other examples that we can look
Oh, totally.
towards of an attempt at circumvention. But yeah, that's one of the biggest ones that I see it every day. And mind you, I don't go to some fancy gym. I go to a regular franchise gym and I see it. Several people in there each time I go, tripod set up. And they're not working out covered up. I'll put it that way. So,
Yeah.
nothing is goofy, but
Hey
it
man,
is what it is.
2023, baby. Hey, 24, what you got for us? Hell no. I ain't
That's
ready.
out to all y'all fitness models out there, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Influencers.